Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make your very own karate school for all of your city building needs. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button as it really helps me and the channel out very much. And if you do want to really help me out, try and watch the video all the way to the end. But without any further ado, let's get started. This is the amount of space required to make your karate school, a 20 by 29 block area as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which you are more than welcome to make if you are planning out a city. As a matter of fact, I would recommend it. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make your school. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. Come all the way to the front left hand corner of your grid, if you've made it, and count backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then right by 1. We're going to start off by placing 5 smooth quartz on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a smooth quartz slab on top, and extend the slab to the right by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then, behind that 11th block, place a grey concrete. It should be sticking out of the top a little bit. Extend to the right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And extend all the way down to the ground. Although we are not done, because I want you to come all the way back up to the top again, and I want you to place underneath this block 2 grey concretes, and then red concrete to the left of this, and then I want you to continue all the way over to the left using red concrete. So this will connect diagonally to the quartz. So you want to have something which should look like this. Also, underneath the row of red concrete, I want you to place a layer of smooth quartz slabs that is 1 row longer than the row that is up above, so it gives quite a nice cool modern feel to the build. So the grey concrete area here is going to be an entranceway. I'm going to recommend that you dig in the ground to the left of this grey concrete here and place a blue concrete in the ground. Place grey to the left of it, extend up to hit the red concrete, and then right across the top. Grab smooth quartz slabs and place smooth quartz slabs across the top of where this entrance will be. So you'll see that everything kind of like melds together, kind of like this. We then want to have a double window behind and to the left of the grey concrete area. So 1, 2 grey concrete blocks, or black glass blocks I should say. Grey concrete on the left, extend forwards, and extend the grey concretes upwards to join to the sign area. You want to extend the grey concrete to the right at the top here as well, and we just want to add another row on top of the black glass. So we want to have this sort of effect. Now, the reason that I want the window sunk inwards is because I want a little bit of greenery here. I want to dig forwards from the left side of the entrance and also the left side of this window, dig 2 rows and place 2 terracottas in the 2 rows of 2, join them together at the end, and this is just going to be a little plant area. Okay, so behind these 2 rows of grey concrete, let's do it this way round. All the way over here on the left where we have the quartz, I want you to add 2 additional rows of smooth quartz behind the end row of quartz here. Then extend a row of glass all the way over to the right. Oh, and it does indeed connect perfectly to where we want it to. So we want to have 3 rows of glass. So let me just show you what that should look like, since this might be a little bit confusing. But the reason that it's confusing for me is because it's not a straightforward build. Like, there's a lot of perspective going on. So obviously the entrance is here, but the glass is behind, and it's behind here. And then we've got rows of quartz and all sorts going on, but hopefully you've managed to follow that along, and this is what we have. So, the reason that we have black concrete is pretty much just to place underneath the windows. I don't think we actually use it anywhere else in the build, so I'd recommend just digging this out and replacing underneath all of the glass with black concrete. The reason that we have smooth stone is to create a walkway. So this is obviously a rather large window and you can see into the build quite easily. So I figured that we might as well take advantage of that and have a little pathway, a double path in front of the window. And this double path is also going to extend outwards, and it's going to extend outwards beyond this planter all the way to the outer boundary here. And we're also going to fill in the remaining area here in front using smooth stone as well. So I'm just going to dig out all of this grass, and this is where the build would either, you see that this build can be modified to be placed on a city street, or it can be its own standalone thing. It could be on a retail park, it could be just kind of like all out by itself. Like, you can blend it into a city street like here. If you leave the planter off, you don't have to have that, and you don't need car parking spaces, and then you can plonk it pretty much wherever. So do modify the build as necessary. Now that we've done that, I kind of just want to lay out a couple of car park spaces. So the car park spaces are in kind of like this remaining area here. It's going to be 3 rows of grey, 1 row of white, 3 rows of grey, and then it's going to be another row of white, row of flowers and leaves. So I just want to mark out the grey areas, and we can do the white areas, and we can do the grass, or rather the leaves and the flower areas a little bit later on. But this is putting us in a really good position. As much of the outside as we can do now, so we don't have to keep dipping in and out, the better. So, next thing, we're actually going to start working on the width of the build, or rather the depth of the build. So, take the entire end of the grey concrete area here and extend it backwards by 20 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think that I've got that right. Although I do know that it's basically like it's 2 rows away from the edge of here. So I might actually count it out again. Something that I do, by the way, if I'm not sure if I've done things correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go, perfect. So it's not the grid that was wrong, it was me. Never be afraid to count things out again if need be. I've so many times not bothered to recount something out and made a big mistake that has impacted the build by a lot, when honestly just a recount would have been just so much better. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to extend the end of this area across by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to extend in 1, and then we want to grab our smooth quartz and extend to the right and join to the front of the build. So it's quite as easy as that. Then all it is a case of is extending the quartz upwards to meet the height of the quartz area that we have on the left side of the build, and then we extend the grey upwards to meet the grey on the right side of the build. Now, that might not make sense, but when you consider that each side is actually a little, like, the grey area is a bit bigger than the quartz, then it might make a little bit more sense. So, like, if we extend the grey all the way to the back and extend down, you just want to make sure that the quartz is as high as the quartz and the grey is as high as the grey. Perhaps that's a better way to put it, probably a little bit less confusing. There we go, that's perfect. So, what the studio or school, by the way, I mean, I don't quite know what to call this. What we also have to do is we want to place quartz slab all the way on top of the quartz area, and we want to fill the grey concrete in with grey concrete. And we'll be adding windows and stuff later, absolutely, but we'll be adding those at our leisure rather than trying to build them in now. I don't know whether to call this a karate school, a karate dojo, a martial arts school, a martial arts dojo. It's not really a dojo, but it kind of is. It just doesn't have the appearance of like what you might think about in like a movie. But I did martial arts when I was younger, and honestly, it very sort of similar-ish sort of building to this. Like, let's fill this in with grey concrete as well. So, you know, not every single dojo looks like a sort of like a Japanese style building with like surrounded by bamboo and plants, which, by the way, if you Google karate dojo, that is exactly what will come up in Google Images. It's like a really cool, honestly, really, really cool buildings, but not really realistic in what you might find perhaps in the West. In the East, possibly, but not in the West. Anyway, this is what we want to have so far. And I think it's now time for... Oh, in doing this, now that we've kind of like figured out the dimensions of the building, I'm going to dig around the build, and I'm just going to add some smooth quartz. So, smooth stone. So, I'm just going to add smooth stone here. I might have some flowers just along the back because we're going to have leaves that kind of just like... Or maybe the leaves can come around the back and then we can have smooth quartz. That'd actually be... I keep calling it smooth quartz, it's smooth stone. We're going to have leaves that extend all the way along the left side of the build. And I guess that they can just wrap around, and we just want to be able to walk around this. As I keep mentioning, like I want this to be quite versatile in that I want you to be able to place this in any sort of city or town or environment that you would like. So let's get rid of these materials for now and let's grab some new ones so that we can start working on things a bit more. White concrete, leaves, paintings, lantern, iron door, stone pressure plate, water pressure plate, bone meal, and probably the blue concrete again. So I'm going to place the white concrete in between the grey concrete car park spaces. I'm going to place the leaves all the way along the left side of the build here, as I said, and I'll just have them wrap around the back here. That's just fine. The bone meal is kind of just for this little area here, but I'm realizing that we kind of need to, well, we need some grass or we need some dirt so that we can actually grow these things. And I just want to do this. Perfect, little flower in there. We can also customize it if you want like a sort of stone looking thing. It's not meant to look absolutely perfect. It's meant to just look a tad little bit overgrown. The blue concrete, I'm just going to dig a blue concrete here. Water pressure plate because it's sort of blue. Stone pressure plate because it's sort of grey. Well, it is grey. Iron door, so we can just get in and out. I wanted an iron door specifically. Okay, I want a painting. The painting of the karate. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That seems to me to be perfect to put on the build. So kind of like the karate. It wants to be one row away from the end. It just looks kind of like... It just seems to fit in. And then what happens is that we can perfectly place kind of like karate just here. And it will just look really nice. So along these windows, I like the idea of having just... Like, this seems like an appropriate poster. The... kind of like, you know, just kind of like, it sort of looks like some sort of karate master or like a villain at the end of like a karate movie, like maybe a cheesy karate movie. It's kind of like the guy that's behind the desk and then he starts doing flips and stuff. There's another painting that is kind of like fighting related or karate related. I mean, all of these seem karate related because they're wearing the kind of like the white garb with the black belts and stuff. So, I mean, if it wants to show up, I mean, there's only 4 paintings, I believe, that it can be. Maybe 5. No? Yes, perfect. So, like, that is also another perfect picture that we can use. Like, it's just a really cool way to decorate the school. A lantern is just going to be hung off of the entrance here. It just seems right. What else can we do here? So, with the materials that we have, I don't think that we can do too much, but it might be time for us to put the sign on, which is the loom, black banners. We need the white dye, flowers, the azure bluettes, and I don't think too much else. So the flowers are just over here, just next to the hedge, just to brighten things up a little bit. The loom is, of course, for the banner, so we're going to throw that down, and we're going to start working on our letters. So the first one is K. Vertical row of... So, brand new black banner in the loom with white dye. Vertical row of white up the left side. And then use the 2 diagonal patterns to make a K. So, they're right next to each other, 2 diagonal patterns, K. Next, we get to make A, which is, of course, horizontal row of white across the top, through the middle, and then vertical row on the right side and the left side. A. Next, R. So that is a vertical row on the left, which we luckily have already. Horizontal across the top. diagonal row, top left corner to bottom right corner are. Next would be another A, but I can reuse mine if you have to make another. There will be it will have been accounted for in the item list. So skipping the second A, we have to make a T, which is a vertical row of white through the middle with a horizontal row of white across the top. And last but not least, E. So that is a horizontal row across the top, bottom, middle, and a vertical row up the left side, E. Perfect. So now I guess we have cart, but I'm going to place the sign, I'm going to leave a gap of 2, and then I'm going to place K, A, R, A, T, E. And boom, there you have karate. So if you aren't, some of you may have noticed this, that the sign isn't centered. Like we have 2 rows on the left and only 1 row on the right. The only way to rectify this is to take a row of red off, move the poster 1 row to the left. I keep calling it a poster, by the way, because I know it's a painting, but in my mind it's like a poster that you would hang on the karate school. That's why I keep calling it a poster. So if you wanted to, you can knock 1 row of red off and shuffle everything to the left, and then everything is perfectly centered. But I'm not bothered, so we're going to now move inside the studio here, and we just have to make a couple of adjustments. So, number 1, well, what do we need to make the adjustments first of all? We need smooth quartz, grey concrete, and then to make the floor and stuff, we'll need blue concrete and we'll need red concrete. Plus, we need some glass block as well, just to make some windows and such. So, above here, it would actually be better if we kind of like boxed this area in here using some grey concrete. I don't know whether I kind of want to maintain the red here, because I quite like it. It's quite a nice striking colour, but as long as the whole wall is smooth, then, you know, I'm not mad at it. I think it actually looks quite nice. On the left here, where the window begins, I want to leave a gap of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I want to place 9 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rows of quartz. And this is going to extend outwards and upwards to the ceiling. So this is just going to create this shape. So you can see it's kind of like divided the wall in half, so to speak. So we also need, by the way, spruce, plank and stair, and we're going to extend 2 rows of spruce here just in the left side, and we're going to extend 2 rows of spruce from the ground upwards, and it wants to supersede this wall by 1 row. We're going to place spruce wood stairs extending across the bottom, and then it's up to you whether you kind of want to light this up with sea lanterns or not. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do, so I'm going to leave it. But what I do know is that I want to... I need to make sure this is right as well, because I'm not sure that it goes... Actually, I'm pretty sure it does, so never mind. Ignore what I was going to say, even though you don't know what I was going to say. I want to take this grey concrete here, and I want to extend it forwards by 4 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, just 4 rows. It wants to be level with these spruce. There wants to be a door here, so I think that the floor is actually going to be spruce plank in this particular part, so you can place spruce plank where the door is going to go, and then grey concrete to the right. I'm going to extend all of the grey concrete upwards towards the ceiling. So this is, I mean, you've got a choice of what you want this to be, but I've made it like a little changing room, just a small changing room. That's all it is. It could easily be like an office or something, or, you know, whatever. But I like the idea of it being just a small changing room, just so that people can get ready. So here, gonna do... Oh, I'm destroying the floor and replacing it with spruce planks also, just to get ready. If you want to add a skylight into the center of the roof, you can, just to create some natural light. But equally so, you can have lanterns and such later on. So for the rest of this area, I would like to... I need to mark out, like, there's mats. I mean, again, if any of you guys have ever been to, like, a karate school or, like, any sort of martial arts or anything, there's always mats on the floor. And there's typically, like, different coloured mats as well to kind of, like, separate out zones and stuff. Or at least that's what it's been like every single time I've ever, you know, I've ever encountered something like this. So the way that we're going to do it is here, the grey concrete next to where we have the large window, we're going to destroy in the ground 1 block, place a blue concrete, and then going right of this, destroy 3 rows, replace it with red. 1 row, blue, 3 rows, red. 1 row, blue, 3 rows, red. And then finally, 1 row, blue. Then, all we've got to do is extend the red concretes 2 rows backwards, so we want to make a set of 3x3 red squares, essentially. And then we're going to have blue concrete all the way in between, and it's essentially just going to look like a big, giant, it's almost going to look a little bit checkered. Actually, I think that these mats are only 2 rows wide. I think that they're only... Actually, my bad. These mats are only 2 rows. So they're 2x3, my bad. Because I want to get 3 rows of them in. Otherwise, we'd only be able to get 2 rows in, I think. So, basically, we want to have 3 rows of 3x2. Essentially, it's a grid. 3x2 red concretes in amongst all of the blue. So here... Yeah, see, this is perfect. So, if we would have made them bigger, we wouldn't have been able to get this final row in, and I want to be able to have 3 rows of this. For some reason, I don't even know why, but I specifically want this many, so there we go, perfect. And this will look a lot better now, like if when we dig all of this out, which I'm doing now, I don't know why I'm saying when all of this is dug out, and replaced with blue, like this will look a lot better. And a cool thing about it is that I'm actually going to place skylights in the ceiling to let in natural light, because it's kind of annoying. I always find it quite annoying to have to add in like loads of glowstone or lamps or sea lanterns or I like a lot of natural light where possible. Obviously, it's not always possible because, you know, when it gets to nighttime and stuff, you still want to be able to see, but as much natural light as we can possibly harness, the better. I think, at the very least. So, let's add all of this blue in, and I think that this really ties it together. Like, I don't know, it always seems to be blue and red as well. Like, not only am I going off of, like, my own past experiences with this sort of thing, but, like, I've done a little bit of research, and, like, all of these dojos and all of these schools and stuff, they all share, like, kind of like a common theme of, like, it's all blue and red, white and black. Like, I don't know why, it's always the same sort of colour scheme. There's got to be a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but it seems quite, for some reason, nostalgic for me anyway. Like, it is a nice set of colours. It all goes very, very well. And I guess that's what we've kind of got here as well. We've also got the white and black, haven't we? So, okay. In the ceiling, as I recommend, I would place skylights. So these skylights, I mean, actually, we might not be able to do it with the first set of mats because they kind of like hang over to where we have the grey concrete, but we certainly can for the second set, I do believe. Just got to make sure that they're in the right position. I think that that's it. So here, and then gap of 1, row of 3, gap of 1, row of 3, and then gap of 1, row of 3, gap of 1, row of 3, gap of 1. You guys get the idea. So we at least get 2 sets here, and that really just keeps things nice and bright. So we can then place some glass here, then here. Perfect. So that is looking pretty good. So what do we have to do next in here? I'm not sure if there is too much more that we can do with our current set of materials, although there is a shelf that we can place. It's above where the actual door is. It's the upper half of the door, and we want to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 extending left, just like this. You can add some lanterns into the ceiling as well if you like, so you could place them, say, like maybe in between where the mats are. So like if you want to kind of like try and place them strategically, so maybe like here if you want to add in some not natural light, so maybe like here as well if you wanted to, and that should keep things lit up quite nicely. What What else can we do? Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I think there is a lot of posters actually about the place, so maybe we can place some posters. Like I've got all of the karate, or what I deem to be like karate related posters. Like I've got one up here, which is like the guy in white, as I always call him. I've got one up here, which is this is parallel to the window, which I actually want just like the karate guy flying through the air, ready to karate chop somebody. By the way, at least that's what I interpret it to be. I hope that that's what that is, but to me, I've always thought that that's like a guy that's like in midair, like ready to jump with his arm extended out, like ready to karate chop something. I actually don't know if that's what that is now that I'm further examining it, but that's what I interpret it to be. So on the opposite wall here, I kind of want the equivalent thing. So here and then here, just loads and loads of little posters and stuff. I mean, again, I'd usually just use random ones, but it makes sense that we use the ones that are quite are quite fit for this purpose. So like one here on the wall too. So here, that's actually perfect, just like that. I have a couple on this back wall as well. I'm actually going to incorporate Pinocchio too. So basically leaving a row of one from this cabinet. I want guy in white. Pinocchio, guy in white. How perfect would it have been if those last two were like actually what I said they'd be? So just kind of like just loads of posters kind of like spread across the place. And like I said, now we're going to grab some different materials, maybe even some of the same ones as well. Actually, no, in the changing room, I keep doing this, don't I? I keep realizing that I've actually got some stuff that I want in the changing room. Along this back wall, I want like an upside down smooth quartz stairs, couple of slabs, smooth quartz stairs. I mean, you can even extend it across as well if you like. You can have like another, like it can go all the way to the right. But in the middle, I want to have kind of like a little bench here. And then I just want to have some lockers. So these are light grey shulker boxes just stacked on top of each other, just like this. And I want to make some lockers. But it may be better if maybe we have two separate sets of lockers like this. And then, because if you join them into a corner, you can't have item frames, and then maybe we can just use some armor stands or something a little bit later on. Or you can just have these like just extend across the back wall entirely. Like there's a load of things that you could do. So just here, here, here. Yeah, maybe just like an armor stand. For the locks of these, like a grey concrete will do. Don't have to get too fancy. This is another place where you could put more posters, by the way. So, like here. I mean, any would do, like, you could put more posters here. You could even, like... yeah, I'm not too sure whether or not I'm going to keep that, but, you know, we can kind of just, we can kind of just leave it as is. But if we wanted to, we could have some windows in here, just kind of like up at the top of the building, just to make it a little bit more interesting from the outside. So it makes sense that there wouldn't be windows down here, because obviously, you know, don't want people peeking whilst you're changing, but up at the top doesn't, I can't imagine that it matters too much. I also want a set of windows like here, like on this wall, and maybe even 2 rows, or maybe 1 row, just like where the posters are. I'm not 100% sure how much of a window I want, either 1 or 2 rows, but I think that that looks pretty good. Oh, there is another place that I want to put a poster, by the way. So here, on the left side of the build, I want just another kind of like, you know, karate guy poster. Yeah, that's perfect, just like that. And then underneath here, we're going to have some decoration, but there just seems kind of like a blank spot. Or you can have another window, it's up to you. But I think that we have genuinely exhausted all of our materials now, and it's probably about time that we move on and grab some new ones. Okay, so I think that I've gathered just about everything for us to finish the rest of the school, although we are going to need quite a few more materials for something in particular later on. Let's do it. So, first of all, we're going to start off with armor stands and all of the gold armor. So, helmet, chest, legs, boots. We need spruce trapdoor, glass pane, oak buttons, and polished blackstone stairs, although any stairs will do. So the reason for these is, this is a trophy cabinet. And it doesn't have a bottom, actually, so I'm just going to place some blackstone stairs here. And I'm just going to place armor stands in it. And I'm going to fill the cabinet with gold armored stands, and I'm going to place spruce trapdoors along the top to look as though that we can have another set of trophies if we wanted to, and then I'm going to seal it up with glass pane. And this just looks like, I mean, I don't know if you guys ever like competed in any tournaments, or I mean, it doesn't have to be just for, you know, martial arts in particular, but like those egregiously sized trophies, like those insanely can barely pick them up, look ridiculously sized trophies, like that's what I'm kind of going for with this. The stairs are to be placed underneath each one of these posters. That's basically so people can just kind of like sit and watch. Let's put all of this away. I might even wear the armor. No, I don't want to wear the armor. So here. It takes a while to get rid of the armor. So here. There we go, perfect. So next we're going to grab brown glazed terracotta, flower pots, bamboo, chain, brown sugar pot, spruce fence gate, end rod, wooden door, oak door. So just in the corner here, brown glazed terracotta flower pot with bamboo in it. Just a nice little bit of decoration. The chains are for punching bags. So, well, not necessarily just punching, but they're all to be hung like one row away from each other along the extended part of the wall here. And it's... Oh, no, I forgot to change that. I thought it just hung from down below. So I want to have two rows of chain hanging down one row away from each other here. So they're going to have 2 red shulker boxes below each one of the chains. And I don't know, it's just like a really cool decoration. So in some schools, there might be weapons. So, you know, like kendo sticks and stuff. So I like the idea of having a couple of like kendo sticky looking, just fun weapons. And also like there's, depending upon what you did and what have you, like I remember doing like weapon defense stuff. So it would make sense if there was some just like, you know, fake weapons and stuff kind of like around the school. So I want 2 rows of back-to-back end rods like this. Preferably they're facing in towards each other, but I'm not too fussy. With fence gates on the end. I want the fence gates to be open. It kind of looks like a rack then that things can be kind of like stored on. Maybe even like down here below too. And if you can, we can use item frames in front of the... Oh, we can. Perfect. You can't always, so like we can have these and we can like just put swords in them or something like there's something representational that kind of like gives people an idea of what this sort of decoration is. The oak door is for the actual changing room, and we can even use some armor stands in here if you wanted to as well. It might make sense to have some armor stands in, so maybe like, okay, no. Maybe in the corner there? I don't know. Something like that. Just an armor stand there. That's probably the changing room done. For the rest here, I want to have like a mirror. So I'm thinking like I'm going to try and do something cool with a mirror. So this is along this wall here. And I kind of want the mirror to cover the first... I want it to be about as wide as these first 2 mats. And you can either have just like 1 row of mirror, or you can try and go for like a 3 row high mirror. And I think that I'm going to try and do something interesting with the mirror. So what we can also do is grab item frames, and we can grab some like leather armor and stuff. Kind of, you know, just like body armor and stuff, so we can like hang this like above off of here, and we can have like chests and stuff. So just as kind of like a bit of decoration. And you can see like we're getting to the point where this is almost 100% done. Like these buildings aren't usually too elaborate. So the next thing that I want to do is I actually want to try and create some mirrors. So you do have stock mirrors, but I'm thinking loom. I'm thinking we grab the blue banners. I'm thinking we grab the white dye, maybe light grey, black, maybe even need light blue dye. And first of all, we're going to throw a loom on the ground, we're going to crack it open, and we're going to start off. I want to try and make a set of banners that kind of like work with each other. So what this means is I'm going to put in like fresh new, brand new light blue banner, white dye, and I want to place a diagonal row of white dye across. So I'm going to grab that, put that in, and then I'm going to add light grey instead of white, and I want to add a fade to the banner. So I'm thinking this sort of fade here, so like where the fade is at the top, moving down. Now this is where I think things might get a bit interesting. I don't know whether this will even work. Like I want to have a row of... And this is where the black die comes in. This depends how many banner patterns we can have. So I want a row of black on the left, like vertically with the left, and actually we'll grab that and then we'll reuse this. So I'm thinking this might not even work. I kind of want to have a row of like black along. You see, no. Okay, so this is what we're going to have to do. So we are going to have to do this. So I want a row of black on the left, and then a row of black along the top as well. So like this. And we're going to have to place this like this. And I'm going to make like the opposite corner, and I'm going to have it extend along the top. So what I'm basically going to do, right, I think that I'm making this complicated, but let's put a brand new fresh white banner in there. We're going to have the same diagonal, top right corner to bottom left corner, grab that. Throw out the white die, throw the light grey in there. We want the gradient from the top to the bottom, but with this one, we're going to have black along the... So we've added the gradient, right? Yeah. So we're going to place... that's a little bit wrong. So we're going to place the black in there, and then we're going to have it along the top like this, right? So we can then grab that, and then we can place the banner here, 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 and here, right? So now we have to do the opposite corner of banners. I think that you guys might see what I'm doing now, right? So here... Brand new banner, white in there, top right corner to bottom left corner with the white. Grab that, throw that out, put light grey in there. We want to have the gradient effect at the top. Grab that, throw that out, throw black in there. And then we want to have black along the top and then black along the right side as well, right? So then we can grab that, put that in. Perfect. At least I think this will look good. This might look bad, by the way. I'm just saying, this might look horrible. I hope it doesn't. I don't know if there's a better way of doing this or not. But anyway. So we're now going to grab that, and we can test our hypothesis. We can see how good it looks on the corner. We'll need an extra blue banner, so we want to have the top left corner, top right corner to bottom left corner here, and then we want to add the gradient in. Now, since this is going to be on the bottom row, I want the gradient to, I want the light grey to be at the bottom. So I'll grab that, put that in, throw that out, put the black in, and then we'll need black on the left for this one in particular, and we'll need black on the bottom for this one in particular. So then we can place this here, and then it joins together. Now, that I think looks sort of cool. Now I sort of like that. I mean, I don't know whether I like it. I think that looks pretty cool. Like, it's kind of got like a nice sheen effect of the mirror. We'll actually need 2 more light blue banners. Hopefully this is worth the time. If not, you guys have probably just absolutely checked out by now with me experimenting with banners. But let's throw a light blue one in. So let's make the other corner of the mirror, but just because it's quite easy. So blue banner. Oh, we need the white die in there. So blue banner, white in there, top right corner to bottom left corner. Grab that, throw that out, put light grey in there. We want the same gradient, the gradient across the bottom. Grab that, throw that out. We want black dye in there. And now we're going to have black dye across the bottom. So just like this, grab that. And then we can put this along the bottom of the mirror, just like this. I mean, I think it looks alright. And then I'm going to grab that. And then we can repeat this process again. Or what I'm going to do is now learn. And I'm going to throw that banner back in there. And I'm going to put the right side of the banner in too. I'm going to grab that. And then I'm going to throw this on the wall here. There we go. Perfect. So I think that looks sort of cool. I think that sort of does look like a mirror. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What we could do is maybe we could try a different backdrop with it. So hang on. So we need these ones. We need that. No, hang on. It's hard to grab the banner. So here and here, and then we need here and here. Now what we could No. There we go. Perfect. So there are all the banners. So what we could try is a backdrop of light blue. because then it might look a little bit more mirror-like. I'm using the word might. Like, I don't know what might or might not look better. It might look better just to have one set of mirrors just along, but I like the idea of doing something a little bit different, perhaps a little bit more interesting, I think. So here, here, and then, this might be the ticket here. So here and here, and then this might look a lot better. Oh no, hang on, that's the wrong one. So these ones. Yeah, I think that might look a little bit better because you've not got like a jarring colour in the back of it. White might also work as well, but I think that's pretty cool. I really like that. I'm pretty happy with it. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy with the entire school because we've sort of done. I'm sorry if that mirror took forever to make. So this is what your karate school will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed making this, and I've certainly enjoyed designing and building this for you, and hopefully, yeah, you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. So if you have enjoyed the video, if you do like the school, if you're happy with the finished product, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. I'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you would like to make anything else by me, check out the con system, the description below in the top of the comment section for more. The city builds playlist is a lovely place to start. So many different things that you can build, well over 100 videos, so many different kinds of builds as well, like you can really put together a pretty cool city with that playlist. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.